We have a goal of trying to reach 25,000 subscribers, and we could really use your support. If you enjoy daily Knicks content like this, live content like this, clips and other things that we release each and every day, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button because it could really support all the great things that we're creating for you. Worst loss of the entire season. I knew the game was over, like probably a lot of you knew the game was over in that first quarter. We scored 17 points in that first quarter. And what I also saw in that first quarter is a level of defense that just could not keep up. Just could not keep up with the Thunder and whatever that they were doing. The one thing I dislike the most is watching the Knicks, my team, get dominated. And from that first quarter, basically from that first quarter, I know the Knicks had a 4-point lead at some point in time during that first, but after that, OKC ran away with it. They were up double digits after the first quarter. And then the second quarter, the quarter last week when we played them, we dominated them, our best quarter that we played in the entire season. Well, we followed that up with this second quarter tonight with one of our worst performances that I've ever seen in my entire life. The worst half, the worst game, whatever you want to say. We can't stop anybody. We can't play defense. We can't guard the three. And everybody keeps going into the paint, dominating and doing whatever they want. One person in specific, one person particularly, the person you don't want to go off, SGA, lived in the paint. I think he took 1 3-pointer tonight. 1 3-pointer and dominated because we allowed him to. He attacked, got to the line, attacked, and then went inside again, found somebody open, and they got a point. Or he kept attacking, going around our defenders. He made it look easy. He made beating the Knicks look easy. 0-5 is our record against top teams. We can't beat top teams. We are a championship contender. We're supposed to win these games. At least make these games competitive. At least be in these games. We're nowhere near them. We're either getting destroyed or we're getting blown out. This is not how a championship roster needs to handle itself. This is not how a championship roster looks like. So clearly, if we can't beat these top-level teams, if we can't beat these high-level teams, the teams that we built this roster for, can we call ourselves a championship contender? Are we playing like a championship contender? Because after what I saw tonight, we're not playing like a championship contender. We're playing like a pretender, not a contender. And we had help maybe by Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and Karl Anthony Towns? OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, our Wingstop duo, had 2 points between them. Lack of defense, little to no impact. We're not winning games if Wingstop is not hitting anything, not shooting anything. We're not playing defense. We're getting dominated on the boards. We can't score. We're getting held down by the other opposing team and their defense. We're getting knocked out of the game. We have no spirit. And then when we can't make any shots, we show it on the defensive end. Worst loss of the entire season. We're going to break down exactly why that is, why the Knicks lost this game. Spoiler alert, we don't pass the ball. That's one of the reasons why we lost. Too much heavy isolation play when we don't need isolation play against the best defense in the NBA. We're going to talk about all of that today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and have notifications on as well too. So that way, anytime we drop new content, you get notified. And now let's get started and talk about this game because clearly, as you can see, I am absolutely livid, frustrated, and I cannot believe we have to talk about this tonight. But let's get started. Knicks suffer worst loss of the season. And when I show you guys the quarter-to-quarter breakdown, you will see that the Knicks won 1/4 of this entire game. And the reason? Because OKC already had the game on lock. It didn't matter anymore. Oklahoma City showed you tonight what a championship contender looks like. Look how they play defense. Look how they switch on defense. Look how they communicate, how they pass the ball, how everybody understands the game plan, knows what to do out there. SGA is their lightning rod. And if they ever need it, they'll go to him. We didn't have a lightning rod tonight. We didn't even have lightning. We couldn't even make thunder. There was nothing. OG Anunoby, his worst performance as a Knick. Mikal Bridges, his worst performance as a Knick. Our two wings pick this game, one of the most important games of this month, to have their worst game of the season. You think Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, and Josh Hart can get it all done by themselves? You think they can do it alone? You think that if they do it alone with little to no help from the bench, that's going to be okay? We're going to win this game? I knew at halftime when the Knicks were down 27 points that we were out of this game, that we were outclassed because we could never stop them. How do you expect to win a game when you can't play defense to stop anybody? We can't stop anybody. No one. They kept going into the paint, attacking, backdoor cuts, other type of cuts, three-point shots in the corner, all wide open. Not one person near them. No resistance. What did Mike Breen say the entire game? Nowhere near him. Nowhere near him. Nowhere near him. I should make a song called Nowhere Near Him because that's all I heard tonight. Nowhere near this guy. Nowhere near that guy. And can I mention, I am in full rant mode, okay? I am seeing red. There is nothing else. This is me. This is as real as it's going to get. So lock in because right now it's going off. I'm going completely left, and I have no idea where it's going to go afterwards. But there's one person I got to talk about right now because his name is in my head, and it doesn't want to come out because last week it was Aaron Wiggins. Who is it tonight? Who is it tonight? Don't worry. I came prepared. You don't have to remember his name. It's seared into my memory. Isaiah Joe. Isaiah Joe. Isaiah Joe. OKC Thunder. New career high for Isaiah Joe. 31 points. 8 3-pointers made. Another career high. From who? Isaiah who? Plays how many minutes off the bench? Who? Career high on the championship level Knicks. This is what we want. This is what we want to see. And not only that, guys, we talked about OKC and what Isaiah Joe did, right? Shout out to Knicks Muse. Look at the Knicks three-point shooting in the last 10 games. 4 of 32, 12 of 33, 8 of 30, 9 of 32, 9 of 23, 15 of 44, 10 of 40, 4 of 15, 13 of 39. They are shooting 28% from three in their last 10 games. And it's not even on high volume shots, but they're still shooting an abysmal, a horrible percentage from three. And it's clear from this particular chart. And if you watch the game, you could see it all night long. Open shots, they can't make it. Guarded shots, they can't make it. Driving into the paint, clear blank layups, they can't make it. No matter what they could do tonight, they couldn't make anything. Rushing shots, not passing the ball, heavy isolation play, one pass, dribble, 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 4 seconds left in the shot clock, you force a shot up. You dribble into traffic, force a shot up. You turn around after somebody's heavily guarding you, you miss the shot. These are hard buckets. We're not making the game easier for ourselves. How do you expect to win when you're not playing the way that you won before? You're playing a different brand of basketball that has not got you to the winning ways here. The way you win is by moving yourself, moving the ball, passing the ball, and playing defense. playing the passing lanes. That's what you do, Knicks. That's how you win. We couldn't do that. We couldn't stop them the entire night. It was an SGA marathon inside the paint. He could not be stopped. And when he couldn't do it, it was raining three-pointers from whoever was open. Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams, and Isaiah Joe. It didn't matter. They had so much space in front of them that they could have been open for years and still made that shot, because that's exactly what happened. And they dared us. They dared us to shoot, and we failed. They triple-teamed everybody inside the paint, and they left everybody open outside, and we couldn't do anything about it. We failed. They dared us to shoot, and we failed. Final score, 126-101. We're going to do the quarter-to-quarter breakdown like you know we do. I mean, the game right there was ended in the first quarter. Look at the first. 31 points to 17. You lost. You score 17 points in the first quarter. So you put yourself in a hole in the first quarter. What do you think is going to happen? You now have to dig out of that against the best defense in the entire league. And the way to do that is to force turnovers. Good luck against a team that rarely turns the ball over, especially when SGA and the way he handles the ball be the primary ball handler. He's not turning the ball over. They barely turn the ball over. When we get to the team stats, you'll see that breakdown and understand where the Knicks went wrong. It's very easy, though. I don't have to tell you where the Knicks went wrong. If you watch the game, you know where we did. We can't play defense and we can't make a shot. It's that simple. You can't shoot. You can't prevent others from shooting, and you can't prevent second chance opportunities. You're not winning. You can't win, and you don't pass the ball. You don't heavy isolation. You don't pass the ball. You're losing. 31-17. We're in a hole already. And then the second quarter, look at the avalanche. 39-26. Avalanche of points. There was nothing that we could do against them. They ran through us. If you watch the second quarter, honestly, it made you almost want to turn off the game. The level of play you saw out there, what you saw that team do, it was pathetic, disgusting. I don't like watching a team get abused and dominated and trotted down and run down and punched to the... It was terrible. So we can see here with Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, Towns tonight, 23 points, 10 rebounds, double-double again, 9 of 16 from the field, -10. Rough night. Now, if you look at just the box score, you might look at it and say, you know what? Maybe Towns had a good night. Wasn't a bad night for Karl Anthony Towns. Clearly, he got his points up, got another double-double again. I watched the game from start to finish, and I saw them do to Towns what they did last time to Towns. Smaller defenders on him, bothered him, attacked him, got after him, and made sure that when he was at the baseline or the sideline, they would triple team him with it, or they would double team him heavy with it, trying to force the ball out of his hands, turnovers, transition play, push the ball up. That's what they were doing. They were trapping Karl Anthony Towns a lot tonight. That was the game plan. Although, and here's where I veer a little bit on it, Karl Anthony Towns started being aggressive in that third quarter, showing me that he could have been aggressive a lot earlier. Now, I don't know. Maybe that he got frustrated. Maybe the Knicks weren't looking for him. Maybe it was a combination of the two. But when you're an MVP level all-star like Karl Anthony Towns is playing like right now for the Knicks, you got to demand the ball. You have to. We saw again MVP SGA show up tonight. We didn't see MVP Cat. Also, we saw on that other slide is Tom Thibodeau and his comments about the game. And as you saw here, he states, we started flat. We got in a hole. Our defense wasn't very good. OKC's a great team, but we have to be a lot better, defensively especially. It requires a lot more than what we did today. I share in that. That's my responsibility. I got to make sure we're ready to go. That's the first time I think I've ever heard Tom Thibodeau say that. In every post game that I've heard him talk about this entire season, I don't think he's taken the onus or the blame on himself like that before. But I think when a team gets dominated like that, lack of adjustments, I'm not saying he didn't make adjustments, he did, but it was either late adjustments, Or again, when we're trying to make a run, trying to see different lineups and what they can do and what they can try to show out there. The Ariel Hukporti move, which again looked like a very good move because you want a silver lining? Ariel Hukporti is your silver lining. That kid, when he was in the game, he was the one blocking shots, getting rebounds, putting the energy out there. He had the right energy. And sometimes you need a player like that to inject that energy into the rest of the team. Maybe if he did that earlier, maybe he'd be talking about a different game. It doesn't really matter now. We already know the result. But what I'm saying is that clearly he knew an adjustment needed to be made, but he made it a little bit too late. And I think Tom Thibodeau knows he had an issue here. He caused a problem. If he didn't, he would have never said that. He would have never said, I share in that. That's my responsibility. I got to make sure we're ready to go. Wingstop. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Wingstop real quick. Wingstop didn't have anything open. I guess Wingstop ran out of business tonight. OG Anunoby tonight, 2 points, 1 of 6 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3. And the defense as well, too, very suspect. Mikal Bridges, running partner, Wingstop mate, 0 points, 0 of 9 shooting, 0 of 9 from 3. 0 of 7 from 3. Nothing. I've been a very big advocate of Mikal Bridges for a while. I still am. Am I turning my back on Mikal Bridges after one game? No, of course I'm not. That's dumb. It doesn't make any sense to do that. One game doesn't define somebody. However, if this was anybody else, I would do it. And if it's Mikal, I got to do it. Embarrassing. How else do I describe that? Embarrassing. You didn't score. You didn't have an impact. Defense was shaky. Not really great. You didn't really have any impact on the game at all. You couldn't help the Knicks get out of anything. And anytime you touched the ball, you looked like you rushed it. It looked like that hitch was back in his shot again. Something is going on with Mikal Bridges. I don't know what's happening. It's a stretch going on with him. I get it, whatever the case may be, but this was awful in every single way. If your shot's not going in, if your mid-range is not going in, then ladies and gentlemen, what do we do if the shot is not falling? Give yourself confidence by attacking the rim. Watch the ball go in, and maybe you'll start be hitting those shots. So as we see here, New York Knicks tonight, let's break down the minutes real quick. I think that's the best thing to do with the starters. Mikal Bridges, 32 minutes. OG Anunoby, 36. Karl Anthony Towns, 29. Jalen Brunson, 33. And Josh Hart, 30. So actually, a little bit of praise here. Those type of minutes, that's the type of minutes that I want to see forever. Maybe a little bit less, 35 or less for each, but I like those minutes for the starters. I know we lost the game. I get all that. I killed them for that already. All right, you heard me in the beginning. My rant, I went left. Everybody heard that, right? Okay, good. So we know that. But I'm a killer with the minutes. So it'd be crazy to me if Tom Thibodeau adjusted the minutes. I didn't say anything. He adjusted the minutes. I saw that. He played the bench a little bit more. I saw that. I have to mention it. So let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit more and see how much more he actually played the bench. So we talked about the starter minutes. Preston Achiuwa had 6 minutes. Matt Ryan, 2 minutes garbage time. Jacob Toppin, 6 minutes garbage time. Ariel Hukporti, 13 minutes. And I don't know if that's garbage time, actually. Cam Payne, 15 minutes. Miles McBride, 20 minutes. Landry Shamet, 15 minutes. Tyler Kolek, 2 minutes. And Jericho Sims was a DNP coach's decision. Kolek as well had garbage time minutes. So going back to Achiuwa, why is that important? Achiuwa, the other game, I believe, played around 20 minutes or close to that. Now this game, he plays 6. There's a problem. You can't expect any players to get in any sort of rhythm when you don't play them consistently. They don't know how many minutes they're going to get from a night-to-night basis, and it goes up and down at the drop of a hat. 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 30 minutes, 35 minutes. I understand, be ready, but you got to communicate with your players. You got to talk to them. You got to let them know what's happening. You can't just take away minutes like that or reduce minutes in such a weird fashion. You need to be able to address things differently. So hopefully we're going to be able to see that. But as we saw here, 6 minutes for Achua when he played around 20 minutes before is not a great way to get your bench consistently into the game and playing the way you want them to play. So keep that in mind there. But the minutes were spread out a little bit more evenly, though, with Huck Porty, Campaign, McBride, and Landry Shamet. 13, 15, 20, and 15, respectively. So I do have to give him credit there. And that's why the starters were able to rest a little bit more. Again, we didn't win the game. The game was a loss, but it wasn't a loss because we used the bench. I want to make sure that's clear. It was not a loss because the bench was in. It was a loss because we couldn't make any shots and we don't know how to play defense. And especially, we can't guard the three and we can't make any threes. Look at the team stats. So that way we can break that down. Look at the putrid offense. Look at this. That's why they lost. Right there. Do I have to read it? 53.9% shooting from the field for OKC. 51.9% shooting from three-point percentage for OKC. New York, in comparison, 38.5% from the field. 12.9% from three. I can't believe that's real. That's real. That's a real percentage. 12.9. 9. This is what we shot. Oh my. I don't even know how to act. It's ridiculous. 12 turnovers for the Knicks, but all of those turnovers so costly. 15 turnovers for OKC. Rebounds. We were out rebounded as well too. OKC, 46 rebounds. New York, 43 rebounds. Again, OKC beat the Knicks 126-101. You know my favorite team stat. You watch this postgame enough, you know which stat I'm going to go to. Team assists, ladies and gentlemen. New York Knicks, 18 team assists. Oklahoma City, 20. Now, I'm not going to focus on OKC too much. I'm going to focus more on the Knicks here. 18 team assists. You're not winning like that. You can't win like that. You can't expect to beat a top-level defense when you pass the ball 18 times. The way that the Knicks win games is that they average about 27 to 28 assists. When you average that, you'll win the game. You average less than that, you'll lose the game. You average severely less than that, and you get out-rebounded, and you allow them to shoot inside and outside whatever they want, easy as they want, no resistance, and then you can't make a shot yourself, you're going to get blown off the floor. And, yeah, I think, we got blown off the floor. And the shot chart, oh my goodness. The shot chart. OKC in highlighter blue. Knicks in navy blue. My goodness. Look at all of the empty circles for the Knicks. Especially from three. Look at them. Look at that. It's blank. It's like a coloring book. Ridiculous. They made so many shots at the free throw line extended, nobody near them, nobody even close to near them, and it didn't matter because if somebody even was maybe a foot near them, they would pass it to an open cutter or to an open shooter. And that's why a lot of the shots you're seeing filled in underneath their basket, clearly you can see it because the Knicks were allowing them to do all of that and then some. They were allowing them to basically destroy them inside and outside, do whatever they wanted to do inside. And all of those colored in blue little dots show you exactly why OKC was dominating New York. It was just brutal to watch in every single way. Brutal. Worst game of the year. Worst game to watch. Some of our best players had their worst performances at the same time in OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. 3 players might have come to play tonight in Karl Anthony Towns, Josh Hart, and Jalen Brunson. No defense. Can't stop them from shooting threes. Can't stop them from shooting inside the paint. Can't stop them from doing anything. They're stopping us. They're playing defense, and we can't make it 3. We're getting out-rebounded. Severely out-rebounded on the defensive end of the ball in terms of the defensive rebounds. There's nothing else we can do. Nothing. They dominated us in every single capacity. and we couldn't respond. We couldn't get up. We didn't even fight back. We took it. We took it. From the first quarter on, we were down and stayed down. How many other games do you guys need to see? How many other games do we all need to see before we recognize and admit there's a problem, there's issues, and we need to make adjustments? If you enjoyed this episode, please go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below, and of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.